Oh, whoa, a video about Christian complaining. Oh, what a shocker. That's so unlike him. I'm really run down and I'm sick and I'm just gonna go. You know I'll talk about anything and I have no shame, but sometimes I don't want to come across as a total whingy bitch. I am a whingy bitch, that's what I do. There's no point in hiding it. And then some people say, well, you know, there are some things that you don't need to put up online. No, I don't care. What I want to talk about is the feeling of being overwhelmed. Now, for literally my entire life, I'm one of those people who gets overwhelmed so easily. If I have a to-do list with 2 things on it, I'm immediately stressing about them. And it's something that I thought I could cope with as I become an adult. But turns out that's not something I can do. Look, I wouldn't say I've been struggling. No, that's a lie. Well, I'm not struggling. It's sort of like I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm just keeping my head above the water. What's a good analogy? I've gone for a scuba dive, right? Stick with me here, right? I'm doing my scuba diving and I'm doing all these things and then I come up and I'm really tired. And so I'm just sort of paddling in the water, just waiting, you know, take the goggles off. And there's the boat just over there that I'm supposed to get back onto and go back to land. Except that boat is literally about 3 seconds away from just leaving me in the water, barely maintaining the ability to keep myself afloat. I feel like I am about to die. Realistically, right, you look at my life and you go, mate, you've got no responsibilities. You're single, you live alone, you have no children, no pets, you literally have no responsibilities. How can you be so overwhelmed? And then I think they've got a really good point. A lot of the people who watch my videos are mums. And I mean, being a mum, well, that's like my scuba diving analogy, except there's a bunch of kids on your shoulders and the kids are pushing you under the water and the kids are slowly killing you. Like they kill you and you can't get them off your shoulders. You've had kids. There's no, they're like glued onto your shoulders. There is no, death is the only escape from your children. And it's true. When you're a parent, the only way to escape your kids is when you get old and die. So I think mothers, like, oh my God, I could never be a parent. I just couldn't do it. I struggle to keep myself. Look, I'm sick. I struggle to manage this. I don't know how my mum did it. My mum was like, here's a child. And then mum went, I think we'll have another one. And then she had triplets. And then she was just sort of dumped with 3 kids. And now she has Christian and Nicholas, Timothy and Adrian. She has 4 children. And I mean, yes, Dad's in the picture. Dad was great. But when you're a mum and you've got to breastfeed 3 kids and you've only got 2 boobs, I mean, that is the definition of being very overwhelmed. You physically don't have enough boobage to feed your kids. So I look at it and go, I can't complain. Like, I'm not allowed to say I'm overwhelmed. I feel ashamed to say that I'm overwhelmed. But then I think about it and go, well, everybody's different. Some people get overwhelmed at the smallest things, or some people have 2 boobs and 3 kids and they don't get overwhelmed at all. Or no, I'm pretty sure my mum was overwhelmed. I've recently taken on board, I think, a little bit more than I can chew. And I'm very excited about everything I'm doing. And I want to do all these things. That's the problem. I am doing a live show, which I want to do. I've ordered a lot of merchandise and I've really sort of focused a lot on building my website. And these are things I want to do. Now, when you introduce a shop that sells things every day, you have to tend to that shop and post things to people, which on its own, amazing. But the thing that I'm finding a little bit overwhelming, you know when Mr. Burns goes to the doctor and he's got all those diseases and they're trying to push themselves through the door? That's exactly what I feel like. On its own, each little thing is fine and totally achievable. But then suddenly, for some stupid reason, I've decided I want to do this all now. Now is the time to do this. There'll never be another time. If I say no to something, it's the opportunity will never happen again. And I think, look, I still think that. Like, I can't just be like, just say no. It's very difficult to say no. And I don't want to say no. And I think that's why I'm in I'm in a scuba outfit in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef waving goodbye to a boat that's about to sail away. I feel like I'm on the verge of a slight breakdown. Maybe it's time management. Is there a solution though? And do other people get so overwhelmed by such simple tasks? Do you know what stresses me the most is the fact that I get a lot of messages. And I'm not talking messages from you. I go through a lot of Facebook messages and Instagram messages. They're fine. It's sort of the messages, salespeople for merchandise, tour information, clients for videos, my full-time work, responding to emails with that. Just social messages, messages from friends, from family, phone calls, meetings. If I have, say, on my phone, if I have 5 unread messages, the anxiety that it gives me. And because my memory is so shit, I forget things all the time. I've gotten into the habit of putting things in my calendar, but if I read a message and go, I'll get back to that person in a minute, I won't ever get back to them because I forget about it. So I don't read the message until I am in a headspace where I can respond and be reasonable. So if I get someone saying, I need this ASAP, I have to tap that message and do the task that they want right then and there. Otherwise, I forget about it. And I think that's because I'm a little bit of a useless human being. And it's the same with emails. And it's just like trying to be organized and efficient and on top of everything is the most excruciatingly hard thing I've ever done. I'm loving everything that I'm doing, which is great. But then I think I'm so overwhelmed. And recently, because I've suddenly started Patreon, I monetize Facebook, YouTube, I'm starting to try and earn as much money as I can in order to get to a position where I can leave full-time employment, which will free up a shitload of time for me to organize my life. So at the moment, I look at it like I've got 2 big things going on and I have to tend to those things equally, full-time employment and doing all my personal stuff. And I don't think I'm managing it so well. And I think full-time employment might be noticing that I'm collapsing in a heap. And I can't let them down because they're currently paying me a very good salary, which enables me to fund everything that I'm doing. And so oh God, it's just, I find it a lot. And oh my God, I burst into tears. They're just like this apartment building, people just seem to be renovating 24/7. The other day, so I announced that I was doing a live show, which I'm so excited about. I had this big plans. We had I released the email newsletter. If you're not subscribed to that, click somewhere and a thing will pop up and you can subscribe to my email newsletter. That's where I have decided to let everybody know of the things that I'm doing, like when I've got new merch, when I'm doing live shows, right? So I had this big database of emails and that was going to go out at 2:30. So I had this plan and then I was going to post about it on Facebook at 4. I was going to let the people on Patreon know like really early on in the day. So I've got to tick them off, then newsletter, then Facebook. And I'm already feeling a little bit overwhelmed because it was Thursday. I was at work at the time. A lot was going on that week. Merch was selling great. Everything was going well. It was just sort of this full on, everything was happening. And I got a text from my manager, Sarah. Thank Jesus Christ, because I just had totally forgotten to schedule the Patreon or the newsletter on that Thursday, and her text reminded me. Like that's my brain. I forget that I'm announcing one of the most exciting things that I've ever done, which is my first ever live show. I just forgot. I go on, I put it on Patreon, and I send out the newsletter, and then the newsletter doesn't send. Squarespace decides just to hold it for review. And I'm like, oh my God, I need this email to go out. Oh my God, I need it to go out. And then I was getting messages, has the newsletter gone out? And I was like, no, I don't know what to do. It's not sending. So then I was texting Squarespace being like, why are you holding it for review? I had to post on Facebook at 4 p.m, regardless of if this email went out or not. So I just had to suck that up and go, I'm so sorry to anyone that subscribed to the email. You actually might be the last people to know. 3:30, the email goes out. Oh, thank God, I'm so relieved. Suddenly, I start getting a lot of messages from people who got the email saying the link to buy tickets doesn't take you to the buy ticket page. And that's because I forgot to put the link into the thing, and instead, I put the link to my YouTube channel, which meant people weren't able to get tickets. I'm at work at this stage, sitting in a radio studio, and I suddenly have a bit of a moment and I start crying. Just little tears, trying to hold it together. You know, sort of like I'm trying to push the tears back in. No, don't cry, don't explode, everything will be fine. Just get through. I then post about it on Facebook. We then do the radio show, of which I'm a digital producer for, so all my job to do is sit there, listen to the show, have a laugh, and post some stuff on Instagram. Easy. So get that, the show finishes, I go back, and I then just burst into tears. It was just a hard day. I thought I've ruined everything, I was just ready to close my laptop, delete my channel, just close everything. Shut it down, guys, shut it down. I am very dramatic. Anyways, a couple of hours later, I get a message to say the Sydney show had sold out. People were messaging me saying they just Googled my name to find tickets. Everything was fine. It all worked out in the end, and I'm still doing some shows. We sold tickets. It's sold out, which is very flattering. But really, what a bunch of absolute morons that would pay $30 to come see the world's shittest podcast live show. But that day I was just so overwhelmed, and then I got sick, and now I'm just like, will this feeling of being overwhelmed ever go away? And then every time I hear a Facebook message, boop, 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 oh, scented candles. Scented candles are so relaxing. Anyway, it feels really good to sort of just talk about it and get it out there, and people can feel free to leave your absolute negativity in the comments. I welcome it. I love it. No, nobody loves negativity, but it's fine. You can get your negativity out. So that's where I'm at, and I don't know how to really deal with it, and it seems to be getting worse, and I'm worried I'm just going to have a mental breakdown. I just need to get to like the Christmas holidays. I have a lot of things I still have to do that I'm just procrastinating. That's another thing that's not helpful. I procrastinate a lot. If the weather's nice, I go, oh, it's sunny. I'm going to sit outside and sit and not do any work. That's piling up. I don't know how to finish this. So, can't live, living is without you. Can't leave anymore. Can't live. Also, I've really gotten into singing. I'm not a good singer, but geez, there is something very relaxing about just standing here and singing. Okay. Let's finish this up now. Also, I have a shop. Ooh, yes, shop. There's a thing that's going to close, and there's going to be a button that you can click on. Go and have a look at the shop. I don't know how much stuff I'm going to have in there. If you're watching this and it's early days, there's like 2 things in there, but stay tuned. I've got a lot of things on order. There's a lot of new products coming. I'm so excited.